You mentioned corruption while you were talking a few times, which brings me to some of your motions that has to do with corruption. Motion on corruption in Manitoba deal, motion on the TSA, the repatriation of over 2 trillion in TSA, which some have said is one of the biggest achievement of Senate, and also the right now what's really trending all over the news, online and traditional, is NNPC. I remember you raised the motion on the discrepancy in subsidy payment and non-remittance. In view of what's going on in the society right now, today, October 5th, would you like to shed some light on the effort the Senate that you're a member of, the 8th Senate, what is the Senate doing about corruption?
Anyway, I want to start by saying that first, corruption is the bane of our development as a nation. Nigeria is where we are today because of corruption. Our roads are not passable because of corruption. Our health institutions have become mere consulting clinics because of corruption. Education in this country is at its lowest ebb because of corruption. As I speak to you today, Ghana is just completed their second National Cardiothoracic Center. Today in Nigeria, Ghana with a population of just about 20 million people, just built a second National Cardiothoracic Center. Nigeria with a population of about 200 million people, we do not have one single National Cardiothoracic Center. Anybody with a heart-related problem, survival ratio is 0. The most annoying thing is that in the Ghana National Cardiothoracic Center, we have 34 Nigerian cardiologists presently working in the Ghana National Cardiothoracic Center. All this is happening as a result of corruption. So if we do not fight corruption, if we do not tame corruption, then automatically we cannot have development at any strata of our national life. So I'm passionate about the fight against corruption, because without fighting corruption, we cannot get anything done. And that is why you find out that most of my motions are anti-corruption based, because it's a cankerworm that if we do not fight, we won't get anywhere. And I want to salute the 8th Senate, that no Senate in the history of democracy in this country have come out with articulated approach to the fight against corruption like the 8th Senate under the able leadership of Senator Bukola Saraki, who also have manifested his anti-corruption postures even before becoming the Senate president. You will recall that he moved a motion on subsidy in the 7th Assembly that eventually blossomed into the probe of subsidy and even led to the 2012 subsidy protests and all that. So I want to say that corruption is the bane of our development as a nation. Every one of us must concentrate on fighting it and making sure that those responsible for this act is prosecuted and fought. Senate exposed the corruption in the office of the SGF. Senate, we've done a lot of exposition on corruption, and I want to believe that the executive must also, in the same vein, act on resolutions and reports of the Senate in most of our investigative hearings. By this collaborative effort, we will make sure, and then we can begin to talk about development in this country.